It never ceases to amaze me how easily certain institutions can be manipulated under the guise of partnership. The GRE has accepted the funding without so much as a second thought, welcoming the supposed assistance in their research. Of course, they believe they're in control, believe this is merely a strategic collaboration. The naivety of those driven by desperation is astounding. They see financial backing as an opportunity, failing to recognize it as a leash. I needn't state what this means. Control over their findings is inevitable. Their research will soon belong to those with the foresight and vision to wield it properly. Dr. Bennett delivered the Alpha subject today, as planned. Apparently, they captured him somewhere outside of Haran. The subject has been placed into a drug-induced coma, but I remain cautious. Its resistance to sedation is noteworthy, a factor that must be accounted for in upcoming trials. Full anesthesia, while preferable, may not be feasible, given the subject's heightened tolerance. The challenge now lies in managing this unpredictable variable. Although prolonged pain during experimentation could produce unintended psychological effects, data collection must be prioritized over comfort. After all, the goal is to explore the limits of the subject's resilience, not to coddle it. The latest series of gene therapy trials has proven problematic, to say the least. Using Alpha's DNA, the subjects succumb within days after the procedure. The mortality rate is disappointing, but not entirely surprising. It appears the current methodology is flawed. However, gas trials have yielded far more intriguing results. Early indications suggest we may be able to influence and control the subjects to a partial degree. This requires further refinement, but it is promising nonetheless. Death remains a consistent outcome in these tests. Nevertheless, every failure ultimately yields another success. The failures are useful data, nothing more. At last, a significant breakthrough. The cellular production of encoded proteins has begun, marking a turning point in this line of experimentation. The subject's condition has stabilized, an unexpected but welcome outcome. Some neurological degradation has occurred, though I consider these losses acceptable given the overall progress. They're negligible compared to the magnitude of what has been achieved. I believe now is the time to seize full control of the GRE's research. Their limited understanding has held this project back for too long. With the right direction, my direction, the results will be far more productive. Despite repeated efforts, we have not yet succeeded in replicating the level of cognitive retention observed in Alpha. Fascinatingly, Alpha retained a surprising degree of emotional and cognitive response throughout the trials. Anger, fear, even rudimentary problem-solving. This remains the most intriguing aspect of the experimentation. It's clear that further integration of Alpha's neural patterns is required to imbue the chimeras with a level of awareness beyond their current limitations. Achieving this would open entirely new avenues of control and refinement. We're close, even though the key to unlocking that final piece still continues to elude us. Alpha's suffering has already unleashed a way forward on the physical front. Now the time has come to use all means necessary to extract its cognitive potential. The latest subject demonstrates remarkable agility despite its bulk, as well as the ability to charge and strike with devastating force. The integration of Alpha's DNA into its muscle fibers has given rise to a powerful, relentless creature. However, the process was not without complications. Alpha's pain threshold was pushed beyond acceptable limits during the enhancement phase, a necessary step to ensure the target subject's resilience. Whenever this subject is wounded, its aggression spikes, likely a residual effect of Alpha's own tortured psyche. Explosive stimuli remain the most efficient method of disruption. The early stages of experimentation with Alpha were fraught with setbacks, but it's in such failures that we found our greatest triumphs. Yes, Alpha's body endured unspeakable modifications, genetic rewiring, cellular bombardment, and systematic exposure to stressors designed to push its biology beyond the limits of normal physiology. These trials, though arduous, were essential. Alpha's responses have shaped the progression of our latest subjects. Their traits, physical enhancements, advanced regenerative capabilities are the culmination of what Alpha's broken form taught us. Each subject is a testament to the process that began with Alpha. The current generation of subjects owes its very existence to the pioneering work done on Alpha. Initial attempts to manipulate its DNA yielded inconsistent, often disastrous results. We learned much from Alpha's breakdown. Its inability to withstand prolonged genetic fusion, the rejection of foreign proteins, and the neurological collapse that followed. But through Alpha's suffering, we perfected the methods now applied to these newer subjects. What once seemed impossible has now become routine. Alpha was merely a stepping stone, and the path forward has never been clearer. Alpha's contribution to our work cannot be overstated. It was the first to undergo the extreme genetic modifications necessary to create these new specimens. While Alpha itself was never meant to survive the process intact, it actually did. And its reactions to each experimental phase gave us the data needed to refine our methods. Alpha endured an endless cycle of tests, each more invasive than the last. all aimed at pushing the boundaries of biological manipulation. Our current batch of subjects, in all their grotesque perfection, are the result of lessons learned from its pain. Alpha was, without question, a crucial part of this evolution.